This happened at the end of May 1968 off the Atlantic coast of Florida. A special technological vessel for underwater and rescue operations was slowly towing a professional diver on a cable. A diver in a heavy wetsuit examined the sandy bottom at a depth of about 49 feet. And suddenly he saw something round, resembling a turtle or a large lizard. To figure out what kind of creature it was, the commercial diver tried to get as close to it as possible. To the researchers' surprise, the creature took the initiative itself, looked at the intruder, turned around, and disappeared into the waters of the oceanic desert. Using hydroacoustic communication, the diver reported what he had seen to the surface. The ship immediately issued an order to immediately come aboard, warning that encountering this creature would be extremely dangerous. Science has proven that life on our planet originated in water, and the world's oceans contain everything necessary for this: readily available protein-rich food, oxygen, ample space for establishing a habitat, and even mineral resources. According to one hypothesis, humans evolved from ancient amphibious primates, not from ordinary monkeys. Similarly, the distant ancestors of whales lived on land, roamed it, and then returned to the water, where they flourished. Therefore, it cannot be ruled out that some of the ancestors of humans who lived in water came onto land, while others remained in the seas. It is also possible that some terrestrial primates returned to the ocean and adapted to life there. There is an opinion that life originated in water. This theory is supported by the fact that a woman's uterus is filled with fluid. This idea aligns with the evolutionary hypothesis, which states that humans descended from aquatic mammals relatively recently. British naturalist and cryptozoologist Ivan Sanderson published a book about the biology of unidentified creatures. He suggested that a highly developed community of intelligent mammals lives at the bottom of the ocean. Many scientists support the idea put forward by the British researcher that evolution could have contributed to the development of civilization in water. Sanderson's hypothesis also allows for the existence of intelligent ichthyosaurs underwater. When we discuss the possibility of an underwater civilization existing, we inevitably ask an important question: who are we looking for in space or underwater? It turns out that we are looking for ourselves with the same level of morality, ethics, technology, and social structure. It must be acknowledged that there are quite a few skeptics who question the very idea that a highly developed civilization of intelligent beings could exist in the ocean. One of the critics of Sanderson's theory and other researchers who support the British naturalist and cryptozoologist is the well-known American astronaut Malcolm Scott Carpenter, who made an orbital flight aboard the spacecraft Aurora 7 in May 1962. However, NASA was dissatisfied with Carpenter's performance in orbit and removed him from subsequent flights. After that, the American astronaut focused on ocean research. Since 1965, he has been conducting underwater experiments in the interests of the U.S. Navy. At the same time, he actively collaborated with the famous oceanologist and inventor of the aqualung, Jacques Cousteau. Carpenter traveled with him to almost every corner of the world, dived to great depths, but nowhere did he find even a hint of traces of an underwater civilization. He noted that the danger to humans in the depths of the ocean is an order of magnitude greater than in space. The lighting, temperature, and chemical composition of the environment are completely different. There are different gravitational forces and pressure. Moreover, different chemical processes occur in the organism at each depth layer, so it is unlikely that human-like creatures could organize a civilization there. Japanese fishermen, returning from their fishing trips, tell amazing stories. For example, the sailors on one of the schooners pulled a trawl with a catch onto the deck, and suddenly saw a strange creature in the nets. Old-timers claim that this human-like amphibian is often found in the waters around the island of Honshu. Fishermen have also repeatedly seen it off the coast of the neighboring island. Local residents have even given this creature a nickname, Kappa. Today, an increasing number of scientists acknowledge that life exists underwater. That is, everything we have not yet studied underground and underwater may be connected to the activities of unknown inhabitants, who may have created and are sustaining their own civilization. These beings are multifaceted and diverse, both in form and content, and they quite often come into contact with us. Either way, references to mysterious underwater inhabitants can be found in the myths of many peoples around the world. For example, among the Sumerians, during excavations in Mesopotamia, archaeologists found clay tablets with cuneiform writing. One of the documents described a race of half-fish, half-human creatures that lived in the Persian Gulf. The most interesting thing is that these underwater inhabitants once maintained close contact with the Sumerians, and not only maintained it, but also taught them how to live and develop. On one of the Sumerian cuneiform tablets, there was a phrase that read, "At the edge of the sea that washes Babylon, creatures appeared. They were called Ons. They taught us writing and other sciences." During the day, they taught us writing in various sciences. When the sun set, the creatures would return to the water of the bay, for they were amphibious. Of course, this ancient text could be dismissed as an ordinary Sumerian tale, but some researchers are inclined to believe that it might actually have happened. Let us remember that all life on our planet originated in the water, and it is incredible that not all humans eventually emerged onto land, perhaps due to a delay in the evolutionary process or for some other reasons. In any case, today almost no one doubts the real existence of mermaids, that is, creatures with a human body and a fishtail. Mermaids are somewhat similar to us. They're just better adapted to living in the depths of the sea. They can breathe underwater, rather than relying on pure oxygen like we do. The 20th century is considered the richest in various sensational stories about paranormal phenomena, many of which were compiled into a separate chronicle of unexplained events. One of the chapters in this collection is devoted to the story of a certain Gennady Burovkov. It was kept in the KGB archives. Even before the collapse of the Soviet Union, he went to the Black Sea for a vacation. Burovkov was fond of spearfishing, but one day he put an end to his passion once and for all. This happened in Anapa. Gennady went down into the sea with an underwater rifle to a depth of about 7-8 meters and lay in wait for his prey. And suddenly, huge creatures with human faces swam right up to him without masks or scuba gear, with large fish-like heads and flippers instead of legs. And suddenly, as if on command, the creatures quickly swam back out to the open sea, moving only their powerful flippers instead of legs. When they disappeared, the underwater hunter surfaced and emerged from the water. He never went back into the sea. On the Caspian Sea, vacationers are still wary of swimming in the area around the Absheron Peninsula. It all began back in the 1960s, when several swimmers in the Caspian Sea near Baku came face to face with an unknown creature that emerged from beneath the water right in front of them. Local residents nicknamed these mysterious creatures Ronin Shahs. The word Ronin Shah itself is of Iranian origin and translates as Lord of the Sea. Dr. Ali Jaharov, a researcher at one of the biological institutes of the Academy of Sciences of Azerbaijan, believes that this is a human-like creature that lives in the marine environment and feeds on small fish. People who had encountered these creatures not only told stories about them, but also claimed that the creatures emitted certain signals that triggered specific images in the brain. Where could the mysterious creature known as Ronin Shah have come from, and why is there no mention of it in historical sources? The Caspian Sea is an amazing natural formation. Today, it is the largest saltwater lake in the world, but there is an opinion that in the past it was a large sea. Researchers suggest that a civilization exists at the bottom of the Caspian Sea, and Ronin Shah is one of its representatives. By the way, this creature used to be found in the north of Iran and even in Turkmenistan. in the Chilecan area and beyond. Researchers are convinced that the civilization to which the Ronenshaw belongs is one of the oldest on Earth. She lived quietly and peacefully, hidden from human eyes, until intensive oil production began on the Caspian Shelf and the unrestrained exploitation of fish resources began. If in the shallow Caspian Sea, where there aren't many inhabitants, you can encounter mysterious creatures resembling the fantastical ichthyander, then what secrets do the ocean depths hide? Depths that are practically inaccessible to humans. For example, the famous Mariana Trench, or Mariana Trench, is the most mysterious place in the world's oceans, and the deepest point in this trench is the so-called Challenger Deep. Located in the southwest of the Pacific Ocean, it extends downward for more than 11 kilometers. The trench has always attracted the attention of scientists. Starting in the mid-20th century, several international scientific expeditions explored its bottom, wondering whether any living creatures could inhabit it. Soviet scientists were the first to measure the depth of the trench in 1957. They also proved that living organisms can survive there, even under such enormous pressure. To imagine these dimensions and depths, let's mentally place Mount Everest in the Mariana Trench. It would seem that at such a depth, where the pressure is several dozen tons per square centimeter, it's impossible to survive, but in reality, life exists there. In 1960, the Bathyscaphe Trieste, carrying American scientists, descended to the very bottom and stayed there for a full 12 minutes. The hydronauts managed to see a few strange large fish and nothing else. At least, that's what the expedition report said. However, researchers still don't believe it, since most of the report is classified. In 2003, an expedition by a Japanese oceanographic university lowered the latest equipment to the bottom of the Mariana Trench. However, the instruments recorded only strange sounds resembling the scraping of metal. In addition to the crackling and metallic grinding, the scientists saw the shadow of some huge creature resembling a human on the monitor screen. The scientists immediately began to lift the device. 8 hours later, they raised it and were shocked by what they saw. The metal parts of the instruments were damaged, and the metal cable that had been used to lower the equipment had been almost completely sawed through. Researchers are convinced that some kind of extraordinary entity, or perhaps even an entire colony of mysterious creatures, inhabits the abyss of the giant trench. Today, many scientists are convinced that an ancient civilization may be hidden at the bottom of the world's oceans, and it may be more advanced than ours. To support this, we can cite an example of a recent unusual situation that occurred with a research submersible used by the Australian Navy. The underwater vehicle was operating in the Bellingshausen Basin, located in the southeastern Pacific Ocean. This basin is located in the southeastern part of the Pacific Ocean, between the continental shelf and the underwater slopes of Antarctica and the American continent. The maximum depth there is about 6 kilometers. The Bathyscaphe was equipped with a remotely controlled video camera and descended 40 meters to the bottom. During the shooting, a strange oval-shaped object with clear outlines and an inner glow appeared in the frame. After the military and scientists examined the video from the device, it was decided to repeat the survey of the same area in a couple of weeks. The submersible was lowered again to the spot where the mysterious glowing sphere had been discovered, but there was nothing there except a flat bottom. The inhabitants of the depths had chosen to erase all traces of their presence. Be that as it may, the ocean still holds many secrets, and it is not only the ocean itself that hides them, but also those who study it. Perhaps some discoveries are deliberately not being rushed into the public domain. They might seem shocking or even frightening to too many people. Perhaps some discoveries are deliberately not being rushed into the public domain. They might seem shocking or even frightening to too many people. But who knows, perhaps over time, the stamps with the Greek glyph will be removed in complete secrecy, and the global community will learn the truth about the things that history has so far kept silent about. In the meantime, friends, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next video.